We've just come out of possibly the two hottest and longest lasting hot sectors I can recall in my 15 years of day trading. That is coronavirus plays and electric vehicle plays. Now, the next question I always get is, how do I spot the next sector? And what do you think the next hot sector is going to be? Today, we're going to talk about that. Hey everyone, lead trader with StocksToTrade, Tim Bohen here. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share these videos with your friends. We post a lot of stuff. I go live every day. Podcasts, long form, short form, tips, trade reviews, scans. We really cover it all. And I want you to be notified, especially when we're talking about these trends, because one of the great things about what I do on the pre-market prep live every day is we're trying to be ahead of the curve. Okay, we're trying to, ultimately the best trade ideas you can, if you're first, obviously in anything, especially in trading, if you can get there before the crowd does, you've got that much better potential to maximize your success. So ring that bell to be notified every time we drop a video, and definitely check out the Steady Trade team. It's the best way to really get in depth. Every Monday night, we do a strategy session where we really look into the swing trade ideas, which are more theme-based ideas, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about today. So that being said, here's the top 8 potential hot sectors for winter 2020 going into all of 2021. I think that these really have the potential to be that next EV sector. Obviously, the virus plays kind of came out of the blue. It was tough to predict a global pandemic. But the electric vehicle stuff, I was very bullish back in the spring. Coronavirus kind of slowed things down, and then we got in the summer of 2020 an incredible EV run. And actually, oddly enough, the day I'm recording, we've got a couple like Solo and Candy that are running today. You can see Solo actually up over 3 pushing this morning. So anyway, that being said, let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. Number 1, I call it alternative social media. Now, when I say that, I'm basically saying non-Facebook and Twitter. I think that Facebook and Twitter benefited for a while from all of the political animosity, the angering. Remember, one of the big things with particularly the Facebook algo, and I think that Twitter is kind of learned from them, they're profiting off outrage, okay? They know that, the angrier they can make you, the more you stay on the site, the longer you stay on the site, the more money they make. Now, maybe you know that or you don't, but little side tip here. When you're on Facebook for an hour or 2 hours and, you think you're just kind of, debating with your uncle or your buddy from college, and, you think, oh, it's kind of fun, but at the same time, read your mental state, because I think you'll quite find that when you're doing that, anxiety levels are up, you're not in a good place mentally, and you're probably not happy when you get done with it. I think social media to me is a lot like that that chili cheese double stack cheeseburger. While you're eating it, it's good, but then when you're done, there's that deep sense of regret. So anyway, we'll double back to what I'm talking about. My point is, I think a lot of people are recognizing that they're being gamed by all of this arguing and outrage and rage. Not even, so what I'm talking about is stuff like Pinterest. Pinterest, such a happy place. If you go back to the StocksToTrade blog, even our YouTube, I was very bullish Pinterest when it first IPO'd back in 2019. You can see it just gapped up today on earnings. Now, the reason I'm doing this video isn't because of Pinterest. It's more because of Snapchat. Snapchat, same thing. Big earnings winner going back to last week. Look at that gap up. It's only a couple bucks from the high, or from the all-time high going back to when it first listed. This is all-time highs for Snapchat. And I think that Snapchat, again, whether you like it or dislike it, I don't use Snapchat myself. I've tried. I think I'm too old. I can't figure it out. But, it's all my kids use. They don't even text message. Everything's on Snapchat. And I think there's less of that arguing and whether it be the politics or the outrage of the day. And I think Snapchat just seems to be a happier place, so as well as Pinterest. So those are the two big ones. But then also keep an eye out for newcomers. I think that there's I think there's an opening right now as we go into winter 2020. If you're a young developer, I think there's an opening out there for we had MySpace and we had Facebook, Twitter together. I think there's room for a 3.0. And keep an eye out, especially for low price stocks, because I think a lot of people are going to be looking for that theme. So, second, esports and gaming, okay? There's a lot. The nice thing about this, there's a lot of low-priced plays in gaming. You can see one of the big, higher-priced but interesting plays is GME, GameStop, okay? You might not think, it's kind of the old-line retailer, but you like to follow the smart money. And they've got an activist investor that is really pushing them to get in, to get more aggressive on the online space. And you can see that when that activist investor got involved back in the fives, it ran as high as 16, pulling back a little bit right now, but markets are a little shaky as I'm recording. So gaming, and then particularly esports. Okay, there's several tickers out there that I've been watching, and remember, it's not necessarily these tickers, but the idea, like AESE, Allied Esports. They're all they do is broadcast gaming. And look at Twitch. Okay, I think about I used to almost mock a lot of the Twitch, the watching gaming, and I'm like, this is me 5 years ago. I'm like, oh, it's so silly. People are watching people play video games. But then I'm like, as of like 6 months ago, I'm like, well, pro sports, you're watching people you don't know play a game that you might not have played in 20 years. I don't know. When was the last time you played a game of football? Like real football. For me, would have been 1991, okay? Now, obviously, I've played catch with my son. I've coached football. But I haven't played, I haven't suited up since 1991. And here I am watching people I don't know play a sport that I don't play, esports, and it's booming. I think about all of the Gen X, the Gen Y that grew up gaming. I think one of the reasons you've seen professional sports fading is people are more interested in gaming. At-home fitness. If you're on the daily briefings, if you're on the pre-market preps, if you're on our YouTube, the podcast, everywhere, you know how bullish I have been of Peloton. And again, another recent IPO that is just a few percent from all-time highs. This IPO'd back last year in the 20s. It hit as high as 138 and, not far from breaking out again. NLS is another one. Maybe you've seen that. I think it's called The Mirror. Now, it's not a publicly traded company, but, it says mirror that you can hang on the wall. Listen, as of right now, we don't know if the gyms are going to reopen or not. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I think that it's going to be one of those changes where people just, even if the gyms reopen, I think that people are going to be like, well, I can just do it from home. It's like working from home, which is another theme that we'll talk about. But when you can just do a meeting on Zoom, why go into the office? I think fitness is going to be the same way. NLS, Peloton, there's some other low-priced entries in that sector as well. And you're seeing a lot of movement in this space. There's a lot. Apple, actually today, there was leaked it looks like Apple is looking to get in the at-home fitness space. And hey, we always say, like I said, with the alternative social media and gaming, follow the smart money. And if Apple wants into a market, does that tell you that maybe it's a hot market? So far, I don't know if Apple's had a miss in 20 years. iPhones, MacBook Pros, watches, iPads, they innovated in all these areas. So follow that. Next one is food delivery. I still think back to I was actually in Los Angeles the day of the first shutdown. That was kind of the very first stay-at-home order, and that was the day that Blue Apron gapped up from 2 went as high as 4 and then proceeded a couple days later to hit 30. I think, we've got GRIL. There's a lot of other, there's a bunch of low price companies in this sector. And I think a lot of them, whether it be the meal prep or the meal delivery. And then another theme that I think to definitely keep an eye on, because remember, we're talking big picture ideas here, is that ghost kitchen. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that idea. Travis Kalanick, you'll notice a theme here. Follow the smart money, okay? Remember Travis, kind of a controversial guy, but he started Uber, okay? Look at how Uber changed the world. Depending on how young you are, you might not even remember the world before Uber. I remember the world before Uber. It stunk. Getting cabs, trying to meet the money they charge you. I don't even want to talk about cabs. The world is a better place because of Uber and Lyft. Trust me. Anyway, Travis is getting into these ghost kitchens. You can Google a ghost kitchen, but basically they're specifically catered towards takeout. That's all they do. A lot of them are going in old shopping malls and, or takeout and food delivery. There's no seating. There never will be seating. They're strictly pick it up or we bring it to you. So I think that's going to be a theme, like it or not. So telehealth is another one. I remember T-Doc has been a runner for, 6 months now, almost a year, going back to the spring. And again, with the coronavirus, people aren't getting out. People are worried about their health. Telemedicine is a huge one. Even like Chewy, CHWY, which is another stay-at-home play to keep an eye on. People still got to feed their pets, okay? But Chewy even going into pet telemedicine. I mean, we've got this amazing technology. I think it's happening. And unless when it comes to preventative medicine, I think we're getting to the point where, whether it be with fitness trackers or other devices, that they can do a lot of it remotely, barring, emergency. Obviously, if you break your leg, you're going to the emergency room. But when it comes to routine stuff, telehealth. And again, even with Chewy getting into that. Next one, maybe a little controversial, maybe not. We live in a very uncertain world. Simple fact is that a lot of people are concerned about security. A lot of people are concerned about society breaking down. I'm a very positive guy. I'm not one of those people that think the world is falling apart, but a lot of people do think the world is falling apart. So guns and ammo, and as well as like prepper stuff. I know preppers getting made fun of a lot. I make fun, even though I do some prepping myself. I make sure my family is taken care of, but it's easy to pick on preppers sometimes. But simple fact is, a lot of people are worried about this stuff. A lot of people are very concerned, whether it be the riots, whether it be all of this, social or political infighting and arguing and all this stuff, uncertainty in the world. I think that you're going to see guns and ammo as well as prepper plays definitely be in play. Last two, one of my favorite, near and dear to my heart, is trading. I think trading related companies, you've probably heard me talk about the fact that, Robinhood back in the spring, I think they got 3 million new accounts in like a month. They're still adding accounts right now. Brokerage accounts are booming. At StocksToTrade, we're very busy. There's so many people coming to us to use our software, which thank you if you're already a user. If you're not, check out the trial down in the link below. But we're so busy. We're seeing just such an influx of people looking for tools to learn the markets. And, I've got actually this week's Business Week is called, the cover story is Generation Robinhood, and it's all about the youth. Maybe you're one of them that are, maybe you're taking remote classes. Maybe you're working from home and you're like, hey, can I make some side money trading? And I think you're going to see, whether it be fintech, as they say, financial technology, which StocksToTrade, Robinhood's talking about going public, etc. So keep an eye on anything trading related. I think I talk about it all the time. This is the new normal. The volume. We see stocks trade 1 billion shares a day in low price stock land. it's the new normal. It's not turning around. And then the last one I want to talk about is cybersecurity. One of my favorite recent swing trades and recent IPOs is PLTR. You can see this beautiful, it's nicely green on another shaky market day. We actually broke this down again on the daily briefing live at that 10:25 break. And you can see it's 11 plus just a day and a half later, and already hit a new 52-week high this today. Pulling back right now, but still trending, still green on the day by a smidgen. But the point is, if everybody's working from home, if everybody's studying from home, if you're getting your health care from home, if you're online gaming, if you're trading from home, if you're taking fitness classes from home, security. It's a different world. And yes, the internet has been in active use, for over 20 years. Where it really got active was late 90s. Obviously, the internet's been around longer, but, we've had this 20 years of quote unquote living on the internet, but it's never been like now. Your social life's on the internet with social media. You're competing online. You're working out online. Health. You're ordering your food online. It's like everything they said 20 years ago is reality now. The entire world is online. You got to protect your data. You got to protect your pictures, your credit card numbers, your banking accounts, your brokerage accounts. And I think that cybersecurity is going to be a huge trend, especially as, things get, more and more hostile with some foreign governments trying to hack data. Again, political discord, people trying to hack other political accounts. Security. So those are the top 8 things I think you should keep an eye on into the winter and into the spring. And I tell you, I know it's 8. You're probably like, well, hey, Tim, why don't you give us 1 or 2? But the way the market's been and the way I expect it to be, there's probably going to be 16 hot sectors. I'm probably only going to name half of them. There's probably going to be even more. So that being said, definitely hit the link below and check out the StocksToTrade team. I know I say this in a lot of videos, but there's never been a better market to learn. I see some of the results that people are getting just a few weeks in or a few months into the StocksToTrade team. They're crushing it. There's so many moves, and we've got all these tools in StocksToTrade. Twice daily webinars. You can hit me up for a question. We've got a great community of traders there. It's a small, helpful group. Check out the StocksToTrade team, and I hope you have an amazing rest of 2020 and 2021. I say, strap in, man. It's going to be wild. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.